Finally, guys, finally some fucking good news. Holy shit, I have not been happier. I could not, even if I got fucking $1 million right now, I'd not be as happy, which is kind of funny. Finally, I figured out payment processing. Well, potentially, and it's been kind of it's an interesting method of doing so, but it's something and it works. At the very least, I could finally receive money from people, and then actually transferring it to me is well, another story, and I hope that works at least. It's in verification, and if it works, it'll be fucking insane. If it doesn't, at least I can receive money, and I can do something with that. Holy, you have no idea how much I fucking stressed over finding a method of making shit work. And here's a value for you if you're watching this. If you're in a shitty situation, and I don't think there's not many people in a worse situation than I am, unless you're in North Korea, genuinely. If you're in some Zimbabwe island, you're gonna have an easier time doing this than me, genuinely. So if this works for me, this is probably gonna work for you. So hold on until a little bit later, and I'll tell you exactly how I managed to set this up and actually get money from people, because that was the fucking hardest part. It's not selling services or making money, it's receiving money. Anyway, finally I feel like I can start doing shit properly. It's easier to convince somebody to give you $100 than to actually receive $100 in my situation. So I've tried many methods. I tried to set up my bank account. I mean, you can't obviously use a wire transfer, especially when you work with many people. That's a hassle, especially in my country where wire transfers could have like 100 different problems. So that wasn't a method. That wasn't a viable thing. Then I tried payment processors. PayPal is banned here. Payoneer works, but is in processing, and chances are it's probably not going to work, especially with my bank account. So that doesn't work. Okay. I've been okay. Well, surely, maybe there is a service where you can pay. People can pay with money, with their cards, and I can and that transfers into crypto, and I receive it in crypto. Surely there's a way. And I've tried a bunch of things, and that doesn't work either. Okay, so crypto doesn't work. People can't pay me in crypto. Obviously, nobody's gonna fucking buy it in crypto, other than 10% or less of people ever. So that's obviously not a thing I can do in my situation. I have to get a lot of money very quickly. As I remind you, I have $5,000 in debt to my school, and recently I also found something else, which I should have recorded the video about before, when I was all fucking sad and depressed about that, and I'm happy about this. But we'll cover that as well. So there's that, and crypto doesn't work. Payment processors don't fucking work. I cannot make a Stripe account either, because in Turkey it doesn't exist, which is very funny, because the way that I finally figured out how to do this is I was talking with one of my friends who lives in Swiss, and he suggested something. He suggested, hey, what about Buy Me a Coffee, a website? And I didn't really think about that, or if that would work. But essentially, I made a page, if you're familiar with Patreon or something like that. It's essentially that, where people can buy you a coffee or like donate to you, or you can even put a product up there. So that's what I did, and it looks really funny because I'm like kind of out of place there, sort of, and people will pay me for that. So they hold the money, and then I could connect my bank to Buy Me a Coffee. A Stripe is also available, but obviously I can have Stripe. And Payoneer is also available there, but again, I don't have Payoneer. So wire transfer is the only option. Thankfully, it actually worked. Now here's the funny part. Buy Me Coffee is partnered with Stripe, right? So they're using Stripe as a gateway, essentially. So they're using Stripe to pay out to me, to my bank account. So I can't. So essentially, I'm using Stripe, but I cannot use Stripe in my country. It's so fucking dumb. I was like, wow. So after all this way, I still ended up back in Stripe. Good job. So that's finally solved, and my friend graciously paid like $26 just to check if this works. And right now, the money is in a verification basically, but like the website itself checks, like there's a one-time process where they check if your account is like a fraud or whatever. So after that, we'll know if money arrives or not. The other potential problem is that's problems with my bank account, which is still very possible. And there's not much I can do other than like I just instantly try to contact my bank representative, or not my, but representative of a bank account that knows me, and hopefully they can adjust some settings or tell me what to do or something, I don't know. And fucking I'm just cross fingers right now. At the very least, even if that doesn't work, at the very least I think I should be able to receive money. So that's something that I can work from. If I can receive money, then at the very least I can show that I have money to the school, and they can chill. Hopefully they're not gonna be like, oh fuck you, we're gonna still go to court. I don't know why they would do that, but I had to just do like, I just have to assume worst case scenarios, because otherwise, like, I have to be prepared for it. Like if it doesn't happen, then it doesn't happen. Okay, so that's that. And I know what I'm gonna do in worst case scenario if they do that. They wouldn't like it. Let's just say that. And of course, I don't want that to happen, but I have to be prepared to bite back. So, what's the problem that happened before that I should record the video about? Well, recently I managed to, I got some more money and I was able to afford to go to a physiotherapist. And I did go there. It was for my left arm, pain in my left arm. And I don't know if I mentioned this in videos before, but when I was about 10 or 11, I broke my elbow. And now, since then, I cannot fully rotate my arm. I don't know, like this is the limit, right? I cannot fully rotate it. So there's a limit there, and that's probably why after exercising, that place started hurting. So I went to a physiotherapist to at least alleviate the pain so that I can work out. And as he started touching that area, like I started having, like my head just started to go dizzy. I was like, I was thinking that I got poisoned from something before, but I didn't really eat anything. So I was like, holy shit, am I gonna pass out now? Like that's how it felt. And we paused for a bit and it subsided. He mentioned that it could be a psychosomatic illness, like maybe connected to trauma, because I broke the elbow at that time, whatever. But what really, that's whatever. What really shook me is that he said, and imagine this person who speaks like a very neutral, very low voice like this, like very unchanging, calm. He says, in his voice, he says, when I was 40, I finally decided to do an operation for my finger. And then I couldn't move it anymore. So slowly by slowly, muscles in your arm are gonna atrophy. And then you'll never be able to do the things that you want. You will forever have that physical limit. And imagine, I'm doing like an impression of it, but imagine a person like in Russian, explaining to you that you're doomed if you don't do an operation in time, which I was hesitating to do here, but apparently I don't think I have much of a choice, and he pointed to some people who are decent, and no doubt they're gonna cost another $1,000 or $2,000. So not only I have to pay for the school debt, now I also have to worry about my arm, and I have to do it in time, otherwise I'll literally forever be with this limitation in my life. Amazing, right? That impacts me working out, that impacts me doing many things like cardistry, anything that requires two hands rotated, supinated. So that's something, right? Something extra. At this point though, I'm happy that this fucking worked. I try not to worry or think about any of those things because there's no point in that. Worrying never actually helps in your progress. I mean, that's something I'm learning recently, just energy management. Try not to use energy where it does not need to go. So, worrying about something, payment processing, doesn't do anything. I could stress about it and worry about it. Okay, well, what actually helps is thinking about solutions for it. So that's something. And yeah, I mean, a few couple of days, as a side note, a few couple of days have been very high momentum. I'm actually very, very happy with myself. Uh, you know, part of the reasons that's part of the reason why I've been able to figure this out today. Finally. You have no idea how happy I am. Like, shit can actually move forward from here. I can actually charge people for my services, and I can actually start making money. So many things are actually happening at the same time. I'm planting seeds as much as I can. I had so many opportunities before, actually, and one of the biggest reasons why they have not been as successful as they could have been is I was just not as good at following through, like being consistent with it, like sticking with it. And that's a skill I've been trying to work on right now. Like, it's something I'm thinking about. And also just doing things fast, like momentum. This is something I heard from Alex Hermosi's podcast, and he'd been talking about just people, like millionaires and billionaires, just make decisions fast. Decisions that take you a week takes them an hour, and then they make the next decision the next hour. So in one day, they're a month ahead of you, basically. Of course, these are a lot harder decisions than I'm doing. Decisions like, I should hire this person, I should expand here, whatever. Those are a lot harder decisions, and that's next level. But the beginning of this is that, things that you delay, things that you're thinking, oh, I should do this tomorrow, and it takes like 10 minutes or even half an hour, or things that you may delay even by a week, just do them now. Do them sooner, and that's already gonna speed up things by a lot. Like, especially small things, they add up, right? So instead of being like, oh, I'm tired, I should research this tomorrow, no, I just do it now, and the next thing is now, like, things are ramping up just because of that. And like, even just meetings, like, oh, usually, like, for example, I'm reaching out, I'm gonna talk with this guy today, and I paid the money already. Well, I don't have any, almost. He's gonna help me to set up a system to outreach to my Twitter followers, which I have 1,200 off right now, from all my hard work from before, and that should net me about 10 to 20 consultations if I do this right. So I could have scheduled the call like next week, right? But if I say, oh, let's just do it like today, can we do it tomorrow? Can we do it in like 2 days, right? That speeds up the momentum. And if anything, these challenges that I'm facing really teaches me, like, to just be faster. Like, hey, like, let's just do it now. Like, why are we waiting for tomorrow? Okay, can we do it now instead of next week? Can we do it until the end of the day? Like, does it take you? Can you do it within that time? Okay, sure, let's do it sooner, etc., like, right? And if you want your entire business and your employees and people who you work with to move the same speed, you have to move at that speed, to begin with. Like, you can't expect other people to do what you're not doing. So, being the best example is what you want to be. So that's a lot of things I've said this time. I should have been 2 separate videos, but this is an interesting journey, and I don't know what's gonna happen in the next month, but I think a lot of things are gonna happen next month if I keep going like this, and I really, really hope that it does, and I really hope that maybe reaching the 100K is gonna happen faster than I thought, and then we're gonna start leveling up to 1 million very soon. Actually, one of the theories that I have, not theories I guess, but just thoughts, let's say, I actually think that I'm a little bit ahead in my game, which is it's kind of bad. Doesn't help me right now. But essentially, I think I'll be a lot better once I'm start to make money and things start to happen. I think I'll be a lot better at actually scaling it up. I think if I get to 100K a year, getting to 1 million would take me a lot faster. That's a general rule anyway. Like, once you're making money, like it's easy to make more money when you don't compared to when you don't have money, of course. But I just feel like I've been cultivating and getting better skills of higher level when I should have done the low level stuff first. But I think there's some merit to that as well. Either way, so I'm okay with that. I think these skills of just doing things fast or following through things, these are like the low level skills that are really important, and well, some other skills as well. But that, I think, might be the beginning of actual getting out of this shithole. Well, see you guys later. Seriously, I have no idea what's gonna happen now. Hopefully better than before.